another episode of For the Love of the Game. This week, we got a Hall of Famer. This week, we got a super dad. This week, we got a guy who loves basketball as much as Coach Fowler, believe it or not. Amen. So this week, we got Coach Leonard Jackson from the Petersburg area. And I don't even know where you're originally from, but I know that's where you kind of have put your hat down out there in the Petersburg area. Coach Leonard Jackson, before we do anything else, let me ask you the question. How and when did you fall in love with basketball?
All right, man. Thank you, man. Pleasure, man. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to come on this show, man. Been keeping up with you guys. As far as falling in love, man, I think I don't remember the exact age, but I was around 8 or 9, man. My dad was coaching in the adult league, man, and I used to travel with him, man, as well as in the neighborhood at the park. Looking at the old guys, just sitting on the basketball, man, just watching pickup games, man. From there, man, it's just been a part of my life, man, for about 7, 8 years old.
7, 8 years old. Now, did you play in high school, or how far along did you go?
Yes, sir. I actually was a starting point guard, man, on my high school team, man. Started varsity my 10th grade year. I know we don't count JV accolades, but I'm very, very proud of, man, my ninth grade year, man, on JV, man. We was 20-1, and we used to give our varsity team fits, man. I mean fits. But yeah, man, actually what you said, I got inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2023 at my high school.
Oh wow, that's awesome. And I didn't know whether it was for basketball or for football, so that's why I was gonna find out it. So it was for basketball.
Basketball and football. Yes, sir.
Oh, basketball
And
and
where
football.
and where'd you go to high school?
In Sussex Central High down in Sussex County, Virginia.
Okay.
Okay, that
Yes,
is
sir.
awesome, man. That is awesome. Now, did you continue on in college, or where did you go to college at, and how'd that work out?
Great question, man. Actually, no, man. I was supposed to go to Shawan. I'm a proud graduate of the Nova State University, but I went down to Shawan because that was the only school that was gonna let me play quarterback. I mean, the only school. Everybody was wanting me to be a receiver, running back. So I normally use that as a learning lesson, man. I tell my players sometimes you can be a big fish in a small pond. And when I say that, I'm talking about myself. I thought I was bigger than, as the kids say now, bigger than the program. So I was trying to go into these coaches' offices and tell them, "No, I'm playing quarterback. I'm 5 foot nothing, but I'm playing quarterback." Right? Not realizing and didn't have realistic goals, man. So I got down there, and they only gave me a partial, man. And at the time, my parents couldn't afford to pay the monthly, man. So my high school coach called his old college roommate at Norfolk State, who happened to have been at that time the AD and the baseball coach.
Oh wow.
And they got the baseball coach and the football coach to meet with me. Football coach wanted me to play slot. I was still in my feelings. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I actually went to baseball. And again, small pond, right? So I went there and the coach said the first year you have to play for free. No
Mm,
scholarship money.
mm.
Me, again, life lesson that I can give the kids, man. I said, well, call me back next year. I see you. And
Wow.
man, when I tell you, I can't even say the words that my coaches gave me, and I didn't understand it. And this got to be God's will because I was just explaining this to some people at the summer camp that I do during the summer. So, yeah,
All right,
that
amen.
works out.
Amen. We all learned the hard way. We've had a guy on here who was headed to the pros, and he had some young knucklehead behavior, and ended up taking the long way around. We had Lenny Cook on here. I don't know if
Yeah. So look, this is crazy. Right? I was watching the episode. So Lynn Cook, right?
uh-huh.
So what Tony knows. So David, I just completed my last year as the varsity head basketball coach, boys, right? Lynn Cook's daughter is the
It's in
guard down
Sussex.
there in Sussex. Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, cool, cool,
Yes.
cool, cool. That is
Me and Lenny used to play ball on Tuesday nights, man. And funny quick story, he was telling me how good he was. I'm like, man, whatever, man. You down here with us in the country. Whatever, whatever. Man, I got home, man. I had this DVD player, man, back then, some years ago. And I put in DVD player. It was like high school legends. It had LeBron, Melo, everybody. And I seen Lynn Cook come across there. Man, I almost fell off the couch. Said, man, this guy was telling the truth because when he was playing with us, he was pulling up, man, like Steph Curry range, like
Yeah,
legit, like from the volleyball line.
right,
And I'm
right.
like, man, he's just a good shooter. I never heard of this guy.
Wow.
He was on the DVD, man. So the things he was saying, it definitely was like really, really accurate
Amen.
for the most part.
Amen. Wow.
So where did you end up pledging at? If you left Shawan early and you didn't work out at Norfolk,
I
the
like
hold
that.
the green and gold didn't work out there.
So I actually pledged in my chapter here in Petersburg, Virginia. It's called Delta Omega chapter, the best chapter in Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
All right,
Hey,
man.
hey, we like that. You know why? Because our most viral podcast was from one of your Omega brothers, C. Russell, who was a great basketball player up there in the Manassas area, and
Okay,
he also played up there at Slippery Rock University. So
who did?
he had his Omega brothers clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. So we had our most viral podcast from one of your Omega brothers. So hopefully that trend continues, my brother.
Yes,
Amen.
sir. Yes, sir.
But with that being said,
Lace, Mike hot, hot, hot for the love of the game. Yeah, we back on the spot. Every week, new heat on the feed. Talk queens of the court, how they pave what we need. Logo at the art, crowd lean when they rise. You can hear in our voice how it still hits our lives. Classic pics on the wall, sign box on the desk. We rewind every step, every cut, every flex from the top.
how did you know when it was time for the athleticism to stop and for the coaching to begin? How did you do that transition?
Okay, so cool. So when I was at Nova State, man, we had an intramural team.
Okay.
And back at Nova State, the intramural used to be a big thing because the red shirt team basketball, they played in that tournament. The football players, they had a team. So my team, man, we actually won it, right? And so I was proving a point to my teammates as a young age. I said, man, you got a true point, right? Because everybody on our team was like 6'4", 6'6". Then it was me. Like we had a guy up there, man. I don't know why Nova State didn't pick him up. He was Mr. North Carolina,
Right.
football and basketball, both
Wow.
sports.
Wow.
And he was on our intramural team, right? They didn't give him a look. And he was out to prove they should have got a look. And when I say, man, they had this thing where we played in the small gym, but the championship was always in the big gym at Eccles where they played the regular games.
Mhm.
And it was for like, man, I mean, thousands of people, man. And we won it, right? So the following year, I went to prove a point to coach. That wasn't successful. But that was my first time actually going to coaching. And like I said, it was just for the proof point with some of my roommates and guys on campus. And after that, man, I just kind of like fell in love with it again and wanted it back in my life.
Okay. Okay. Now, from what I've been hearing, a lot of your coaching has been like in through the school systems. Have you ever tried to coach with the AAU stuff, or have you always left that alone?
So, right, I got to give a shout out to this man. I do it privately, but I want to do it public too. Shout out to Ty Trail White with Team Loaded. He gave me my first opportunity, man, when we was Under Armour.
Mm.
I mean, great guy, man. Like when I say he's for the kids, man, his emphasis was whatever the kid is good at, let's highlight. Like he used to have meetings with the coaches. We used to have crazy workouts, man. Like so, I actually started out while I was coaching high school basketball. I was also coaching Team Loaded, and the great thing behind that is one of the young men that I coached on Team Loaded. He's actually my assistant coach in basketball now in high school.
Okay, that is awesome, man. That is awesome. That is awesome. Now, the Lord gives you superpower. He lets you have one wish, or he answers one wish, all right, where you can go and you have the physical abilities of um, LeBron James or Michael Vick. Do you choose to go into football or do you go into basketball? Which one, since you love both sports, which one would you have gone? Would you have gone the Michael? Cause I know you wanted to play quarterback. Would you have gone the Michael Vick route, or would you have gone the LeBron James route? I picked those because those are the two most perfect, the athletic specimens that I could think of.
Right,
So,
man. I'm gonna tell you right now. I probably go LeBron
okay,
based off the game, based off I can stay a part of the game 20 plus years. I know even just from playing on the high school level that the bang, the contact when it comes to football, you're lucky if you can get Tom Brady status, you know. So most guys with that wear and tear, and then where I came from, where they don't believe in running out of bounds. That's probably why my knees are bad now. So I know the longevity when it comes to that. So for me, it definitely would be a 6'9". They say he 250, but he look like about 270.
Right.
Running up and down. LeBron, hands down.
And
Okay.
he was also an all-state football player in Ohio.
I
So
saw
I
that.
mean, he could have went to college playing football as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, until he broke that arm, and then I think when he broke that arm, that's when I think that his mother, or I think it was maybe Worldwide West, the guy who helped with the Knicks. I think he told him, "Nah, no more of that." You know, they made
Right.
him shut it down his senior year.
That,
But
that $1 million NIL back in the day money before
yeah,
it was
Right.
NIL.
yeah, LeBron had the Hummer before it was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Two-way pager and everything.
Hey, I'm trying to get that Hummer for my kids, man. So, but
Right.
but with that being said, now let's flip it though. Um, from even though I love basketball and I don't love football anywhere near as much as I love basketball, when you're a football coach, you're almost like in charge of, like, it's almost like an army. It looks like an army where you're in charge of an army. Which one do you prefer coach? Like, which one do you prefer being the head coach? Or let's say if both teams have talented players and they're both talented, they're both going all state. Which one would you prefer, coaching basketball or coaching football?
Basketball, hands down. Because with football, it's so many moving parts. You got 11 moving parts. We call it three different levels. You know, like the defensive line, linebackers, and secondary. Hard to control, and it's hard to see everything. So I started off on the sideline, then I went up top as the offensive coordinator before I became the defensive coordinator. And with offense coordinator, you'll have other coaches. Then my tackle block. Then my running back hit the hole. Then my quarterback carry out the fake. Then the DBs, are they in press? They in zone? Are they in thirds? Are they court? And you trying to compute all of those things compared to basketball. You got five,
Right, right, right,
right? Because I always believe in the philosophy. I got my guys.
right,
I'm not here to coach yours. I got my five,
right.
right? And so it's easier for you to just maybe have one coach or maybe two. Now, if I can be like Petersburg or the old John Marshall and have 15 coaches, a coach for every kid or every position, then I definitely would stay in the game.
Yeah, I'm hearing about that. I'm hearing about
You're locked in with Loaded, man. Go ahead and go over to Petersburg as well.
that.
Man, my daughters will have a fit, man. For everybody that don't know, one of my daughters played with Tony, man. So with Tony's daughter, so
Okay.
they will have a fit, man. So that's the real reason. A lot of people said, man, how do you win Coach of the Year and then you just resign? I was like, well, this year was kind of forced. I have a 14-year-old next week. He's going to be a freshman, and I don't want to miss any of our games, man. So it was time.
Amen, brother.
You can
Amen.
always go back to basketball, but you can't go back to a childhood.
Correct. Absolutely.
That is awesome. That is awesome, man. And you're about to see some big games. And
Taking them all to the hole, playing for the honor road, and we running suicides. No squad will see us fold. Throw me in assist, you can miss me with the miss. Cross them like I'm holy, dunking on them like I'm pissed. Taking it from three to pain, watch me switch lanes. It's the next gen, you, we the new way, putting on for all my.
it's kind of funny. Miss Erica was kind of holding back on me because when I first met his youngest daughter, Coach Fowler, I could see that she just had an incredible amount of skill, and she was just lighting up the court. And I go and I asked Miss Erica, I was like, hey, where do you have her train? Because I was going to, like, wherever she training at, that's where I want to send my kid, because like Miss Logan was just tearing the court up, right? And then Miss Erica go and play coy. She gonna go and say, "Oh no, we've never had her with a trainer. She's never." I'm like, "Oh, now I know." You know what I'm saying? She don't need a
So
trainer when she got like a Coach Jackson, and when you got a Coach Fowler, you don't need no trainer when you got a Coach Fowler and a Coach Jackson. So,
right. I have to give her credit though, Tony. Me and you talked before, man. So with my daughters, we have a rule. If they don't ask to work out, we don't work out. Because I don't want them to feel like it's a job. I don't want them to feel pressured because of family success. Because, like I said, I got inducted in the Hall of Fame. My mom and dad is in the Hall of Fame. My younger sister should be. She was player of the year in the state and all those things. I actually coached her in 2011 when we lost in the state championship. So I didn't want that pressure on them, man. So we started off with just flag football, soccer, dance. And then one day, man, my daughter just came and said they wanted to play, man. So we put them in the rec, the Y, to gauge their interest, man. But one thing I can say about Logan, he wants to work out 24/7, man. I'm talking about I be in the gym sometime like think I need to hire somebody else. So which we ended up doing a little bit to kind of like, keep the daughter and father dynamic intact. So we did go with another guy that kind of helped out here and there. But Tony, I can tell you, man, like if I show her a drill, she's gonna drill it till I'm like, babe, is that enough? Isn't enough, So
Mhm.
a lot of people that know or that seen the videos I posted with me and her training when she was like 5, 6 years old. I always tell them that that's all her, man. Like I'm behind the camera, but I'm literally when I pause it, I'm saying, baby, can we go? So I gotta give her all the credit when it comes to that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When both her and her big sister do wonderful things, and
Oh, absolutely.
Coach Fox, she actually plays a. Well, I hope he takes this as a compliment. I mean, even though he's not my favorite player because he flops, if he didn't flop, he probably would be my favorite player. If he didn't flop and whine all the time, he would be my. She plays like LeBron, because once Logan is going down, man. Once she's taking it down, like man, you can't stop Logan. Hope
Okay.
they ain't go the wrong. Is that all right?
No, no, no. No, no,
That's
no.
all right. That's an all right comparison. I
No,
don't
no,
like
no.
flopping, and she don't whine like LeBron either. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
she's tough. She don't whine and fall down like LeBron. But when you
right,
get her going downhill, you
right.
can't stop
I appreciate that compliment, man. I'm quite sure she would too, even though she's a Kobe
that.
and Kyrie type of player in her mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, I appreciate the compliment, man, because contrary to belief, man, like a lot of people don't understand. She have several family members that tell her she need to get more shots up, and she just look because she respectful. She like, okay, and then she get to me and she like, Dad, I'm gonna hit my teammates if they open. Like I believe in them, So for me, that's developing her character off the court because, like I tell her, she got to be the clap when your friend get the new house, get the new car, get the new job. You can't be over there pouting, right? Just be happy for your teammates as well as your friends. So I definitely appreciate that compliment because that's something that she pride herself on going down here, absorbing the contact as well as getting her teammates involved.
Amen. Amen. Now, have you had the opportunity to teach coaches? Have you had the opportunity to coach girls and boys?
Yes, sir. I actually started off on the girls' side.
Okay.
Uh, and that's why I shared with you about this story where a lot of young coaches think they know everything. And man, when I say I got out coached in that state championship game, man, all the way around, it took me some years to mature and take accountability. I know the players got to play, but that particular coach, I forgot his name. He had lost in the state championship in 2010.
Mm.
And in 2011, man, he ran a triangle and two, right? Because like I said, my sister was player of the year. He basically came in there and said, you're not getting this 30 tonight. Like, I don't care. You're not getting this 30. Right. And then we had another girl, a young lady now. I think she's not coaching. We just call her double double. He put the other man on her and said, the other three, y'all shoot, do whatever y'all want, man. And next time I know, we looked up, we was down 26, and my sister got tears in her eyes. Players looking at me in the huddle, and I'm just like, guys, let's keep going. Just keep going. When they break the huddle, I'm looking at the other coaches, and they like, what you want to do? I said, I don't know. I don't know. Until once I like to say we figured it out, but I'm just gonna be real. My sister figured it out, and she went on like a 14-0 run by herself, man. And we erased that 26-point lead all the way down to one, and then she fouled out with like 2 minutes left. Again, young coach. I didn't sub her. I didn't run different offenses to try to free her up. Now it did hurt that our starting point guard had threw an MCL in the regional championship game.
Wow.
So that kind of hurt. My sister had to go back
Mhm.
to the point. So that kind of hurt us a little bit. But we can't cry over it. That's a learning lesson. I take that with a grain of salt, and I just kept pushing through it. And I said to myself, I'm just gonna become a student of the game, man. Like start going to coaches clinics, YouTube University, start going to other coaches, that Petersburg staff. Hey, can I sit in y'all practices? Can y'all come to my practices? Things of that nature. Once I got back on the board side.
Amen.
Every week, we feature an in-game basketball clip of a female baller. We take clips from AAU, public, or private schools, wherever the hoopers are.
Send your basketball clips to AA Fresh Word on Instagram and Tony Speaks on Facebook, or you can leave your links in the comments of our YouTube page. That's it. I'm looking forward to seeing what you all can do.
Kind of like sometimes when I'm talking to you, we're at these AAU tournaments with Coach Jackson, and sometimes he'll start hitting me with the deep basketball knowledge that that team should have run a 2-3, 2.4 at the flag at the and I'm like, and I'll be sitting there like, yeah, you're right, brother, yeah.
That you watch basketball differently once you invested in coaching and you've done all that, man. I'm telling you, when you're a student of the game. Like, you can't watch basketball normal anymore. Like you're always looking for the next move. It's like chess, man. You're always looking one move ahead. Like what's next? So I don't even watch basketball on TV the same.
Right.
You know,
and I'm glad you said it.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, continue the story. I was saying, I'm glad you said that.
I'm watching the game, and I'm like, this should have happened here, or they getting ready to do this. And my wife would look at me and be like, "How you know they was getting ready to do that?" And I'm just from the way the players are lined up and where they're at, it's kind of like I knew they was getting ready to press. I knew they was getting ready to do this or whatever. And how you know that? Just because I watch basketball different, man. It's not even it's not even normal anymore, man.
Right. So the follow up with that, I know y'all interviewing me, but Coach Dave, how do you fix that, man? Because honest God truth, man, that's been my thing where I want to just be able to relax and watch the game and stop watching the X and O's. Right. As they say, leave the X and O's alone, go with the Jimmy and Joes, right? And I just can't because I'm saying, like, why would you put somebody on the high post?
If you have the screener. If you have a way to fix it, please contact me and let me know, because I don't. I still watch it that exact same way all the time, and I'll tell my wife this is getting ready to happen, and it'll happen, and she'll wait. How you know they was gonna do that or whatever? So it's just what it is. But I mean, I laugh. I do. I try to joke things off and all that kind of stuff, and still try to enjoy it. And I can enjoy it by watching because, I mean, to be honest with you, again, like I told you, I mean, I left basketball for the same reason. I left coaching for the same reason. My daughter, this journey with my daughter right now is just amazing. And so I'm enjoying this so much that I don't even, every now and then, it'll be like, well, what if I was coaching this and then, but I can always go back to basketball. But I'm enjoying this journey right now. So it's still keeping my skills tight. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, at the same time, my IQ is still rolling, and when I predict something, even though my wife is kind of like, "How you did?" I'll be thinking like, "Yeah, I would have nailed that if I was coaching this game." You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
So every now and then it's refreshing to know that I might still got it.
Good deal.
And with that in mind, we'll start with Coach Jackson and we'll go back to Coach Fowler. What would y'all have done different than what the San Antonio Spurs did, the coach did with that 29-point lead? What would y'all have done different? What would you have done different, Coach Jackson? Did you get to see that game?
Yes, sir. I don't know which particular game you're talking about, but I know for the overall.
For the last one, when they blew that 29-point lead.
Oh, definitely.
Game 4.
Okay, definitely. I was watching that and I was saying to myself, and amongst some friends, some other coaches, I'm like, why are we not using the timeouts? And I say we because one of the coaches is a Spurs fan or whatever. I was like, why are we not using the timeout? And then why are we falling in love with the three? Right? The grit is what got us here. Like, why are we falling in love with the three? And I'm never gonna tell players, I don't care on what level, to take the foot off the gas pedal. Never. But I want you to keep your eyes on the road. It's not the time to go reckless at all. It's not time for us to be UNLV, like running a gun. No, right? Let's go to our identity. And I get it as a young team, young coach. And it's easy for me to say because I was quarterbacking, sideline coaching on the couch. I don't know what was the dialogue with them. I just know for me, I think I would just call my timeouts to be like, hey, let's settle. Let's settle. Let's get back to us. I'm not worried about what they're doing. Let's not even look at the clock. Let's not look at the 29-point lead. Let's just play basketball. Let's play fundamentally sound basketball, and that should be able to take us over.
Amen. What's your thoughts, Coach Fowler, when you saw that?
I mean, it's the same. It's pretty much the same thing. I mean, the only thing I would say is that the Spurs' identity is Wemby pulling the defense in and the shooters shoot. If Wimby doesn't have the ball, but it's a young team. They're trying to find themselves. They're in the finals. It's we're up by 29. We're trying to put them away even more. Yeah, all these things that they're thinking. You just have to calm them down, and tell them stop shooting threes. I mean, if they have a shot clock, so you do have you can't just like wait for an open shot or move the ball until you get open shot. You do have to at some point. But I mean, when you have Wimby, you don't like feed it to Wimby and pull that defense. I mean, they're going to be desperate at that point. I mean, the Knicks were desperate at that point. I mean, you're down by 29, you got to do something. But you're just giving it to them by shooting threes, and it didn't help that they didn't make very many either. So I would just same thing. Timeouts, stop shooting, stop shooting,
Right.
stop shooting. Just keep reiterating, you're shooting
Right.
bad shots. So I mean that would have been my how I would have handled it just with a young
Right.
team like that.
And then also we probably could have. Well, the Spurs, they probably could have changed up the defensive schemes a little bit, like going down the stretch, like throw a little zone, like throw a little like fake trap half court. You know what I'm saying? Just to change the pace of the game. A lot of people look at pressing like you got to get turnovers. No, you just want to throw off the rhythm
Slow them
of
down.
the
Yeah.
offense. Right, that's it. Right. And that gonna make them struggle, right? And that's gonna help you protect the 29-point lead and for your guys to settle. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying? So again, it's hindsight, man. They get paid millions of dollars. I might would have called those timeouts and burnt them. And next thing you know, everybody had me on the internet. What was Coach thinking? Tell those guys to slow up.
But that coach, that's his first ride. That's his first rodeo there too. So, I mean, he's had some great leadership in the past, but learning lesson for him as well. I bet you won't make that mistake again.
Oh, absolutely.
And they'll be back.
Absolutely.
They got Wimby, so they'll be back.
Yeah.
Right. So keep in mind, like I told you, when I learned that hard lesson on the big stage in the Siegel Center, that was 2011, and I haven't forgot it at all.
Uh-huh.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe for the love of the game with Tony and Davis.
Now, something with y'all's acumen, I never seen this level before. Last time I saw this level of clutching was Rodman. I saw Rodman would get away with it. I mean, there was times where Cat and Mitchell Robinson was doing a full tango with Wimby, where I felt like he was just getting held and like he just couldn't even enter the paint. At what point?
Do you remember the Jordan rules?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
I
a good
mean
point.
that. Sometimes you just got to figure it out. You got to do it works and beat the heck out of whoever you got to beat the heck out of. And
So
go ahead, coach.
no, go ahead, Dave.
And so again. I mean, that's what you had to do to Jordan to beat him. I mean, so Wimby, you got to hang on for dear life.
Yeah.
So me, I think you named some key guys, like you said, Rodman, right? Like the Charles Oakleys of the world, right? The new age Draymond. I'm finding somebody on my bench on the Spurs that can play that role, right? You touch up on Wimby, we're gonna touch up on you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So play this game the right way, and we'll stay cool, right? So I think every team needs that dynamic as well.
So they get rid of De'Aaron Fox this year, and they bring in a bruiser. You got to bring in somebody that's going to take up a Wimby that you can that we're not gonna get Wimby suspended, but if somebody messes with Wimby, he
Right.
gonna get you.
And I'm the owner. I'm saying I'm paying your fine. You protect Wimby,
There
I'm
you
paying your fine.
There
Don't
you
worry.
go. There you go.
Now, Coach, for someone who's been doing it for 20 years, Coach Jackson, we talk about AAU a lot here. What do you see? If you were president for the day or king for the day, what would you do to fix AAU? And then what do you think that is being done that is good? Because I don't want us to all be just talking about what's wrong.
Okay.
We can talk about what's right as well. So give us a something that you think that should happen that we could fix the AAU environment, and then also give us something, of what you think we could, that what do you think over the years is something that's actually going right that you think is actually getting a little bit better throughout time?
Okay. I like to start with a positive. The positive, what I do like is giving female athletes, young ladies, opportunity to get on the stage to expand their game. I think also it gives kids more time to fine tune their game if they're utilizing the right organization, right? Now, as far as the bad, I'm not going to hold this interview up, but it's a lot of things with the culture, man. I think we got to stop this daddy ball. We got to stop where parents get to run some things. And one thing that just drives me crazy: how can you rank a kid in the first grade, second grade, third grade, fifth, sixth, seventh? Because I've seen so many athletes that they top out, they max out in eighth grade.
Wow.
Like you think they're going to really be a stud, and they just never raise their game, right? So I think the rankings is driving us crazy, man. They got certain people that's doing these rankings, and I'm like, how invested are you really in these kids, right? Like, are you really at their high school games? Are you following this AAU program? Are you keeping score, or are you just saying they passed the eye test? I also think that the culture now, everybody's starting at AAU. Back when I was growing up, you had to actually make an AAU team. Now we don't like the way it's going on. We go over here. If you got the right amount of money,
There you go.
you can get on the spot. And since your money is spending, you can come in some meetings and voice your opinion. And next thing you know, your kid is playing a lot more
Yep.
before the meeting.
Yep.
Instead of earning it, man. And David Tony that heard me say it all the time, man. I'm real critical of my kids, man. Like, because I want them to take that work ethic into the real world.
Yep.
Right. So whenever somebody tells Logan or even in money, oh, man, I like that you scored 20, da da da. I'm glad that I have a younger sister that I can say, hey, go scrap up with them. Let's go ahead and humble them real fast. Or I do things like we normally do in the summer. I normally bring them to a camp that I work down in Sussex. Instead of them being with the elementary or middle school, they always with the high schools. Always. Like I want you to understand that you still have to get better.
Yep.
So the culture, especially in AAU, the prices for the parents to get in, something has to be done about this. You're paying for your kids to play, and you're paying to watch your kids play. And I get it. You know, $5, $10, maybe even 15, but it's $25, $30 a day. And now a lot of organizations are not even doing weekend passes anymore. So things of that, man, it's starting to be a quick money grab. And we're missing the part where we need to develop these young children, not just on the court, right? I like what Tony, would you be saying, like you want your daughter to be around good people, right? We need coaches to build that culture within the AAU organization, right? Not just a team dinner, right? Let's just really build character. So if I was president for the day, that'd be the top priority. Like let's build productive citizens through the game of basketball.
Amen.
And so I would let me answer the one part that I could help you change if you were president or king for the day, and that's the parent cost to get in. And I would just say this: I run tournaments as well, and I charge $25 a day or for a one day, and then 35 for the weekend, and that's what we charge. And recently, I just locked down a new facility. And I'm not going to tell you the facility because I don't want to put them out there like that. But I started negotiating with them on their price for the facility because I don't want to raise my prices.
Amen.
And so we charge $225 a team for our tournaments, and then for one day we do 25, and then we do 35 for the weekend passes. And they told me that my prices were too low for that market and that I needed to raise it because they weren't willing to negotiate the facility cost.
Wow.
And so I would tell you that now my daughter also plays for Blue Williams, so we're on the EYBL circuit. So we're paying $79.84 a weekend when we go to tournaments. That's what we're paying. Wow. And that's ridiculous because there ain't no facility out there that you need to charge $79 a person to get in to pay for that facility. You're trying to make money at that. It is a money grab at that point, and Nike is definitely trying to make money.
79 for one person?
79 for one person.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's what in New Orleans it cost us $79.84, I think is what it was for one person to get in for the weekend.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Tony, you looked up there, Tony, because with our girls not playing in Myrtle Beach next week, see, my oldest, they're still playing, and they sent out the prices, and it's $19 a day.
Oh wow. Oh, that's better than what we've been getting lately. That's not too bad.
So we down there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, you
Oh,
got to think about
Right
that.
at that 79.
$80.
that's
You got
probably
$80 right there locked
Right
in.
at that 79.
that's probably good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that, but
But
that's what we pay when we go to these tournaments. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And that's ridiculous. But I do know that when you're trying to work with certain facilities, and there's certain facilities that will work with me because if I tell them, "Hey, I'm not trying to do this," I actually had a Hall of Fame NBA player approach me about working with him to run tournaments,
wow,
but he wanted me to partner with him with the Puma circuit. One, that circuit is trash, and two, I couldn't. It is, and two, I couldn't raise my prices to match what Puma wants you to what they
got it.
want you to charge.
Right,
And so for me, I just couldn't do that, man. At the end of the day, it's not a money grab for me because you can make money without charging those ridiculous amounts. But
right.
you do have your costs that you have to pay for. And so I understand you never should charge more than 35 or 40 for a
Right.
weekend, not a day. And these people that
Right.
are doing the 25 or 30 a day, that's crazy, man. You know
So
what I'm
let me
saying?
ask you this, right? I understand that 25, 30, even 40. We have Boo Williams facility, you got space to sit down, you got walking space, you got multiple games going on.
Mhm.
But what about when you got one gym, like one court?
Yeah,
That's it.
now that's what I'm saying. People should base their prices off of the facilities that they're using. If
Right,
you're not using a high quality facility, then
right,
then come on, man. I mean,
right.
you money grabbing at that point. And I do know who I think I might know.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm
yeah.
leaving it alone.
I
I'm,
think
I'm a
I might
peaceful
know who
guy.
you.
I'm a
Brother,
peaceful guy, man.
I think I know who you're talking about.
we
But
love
I'm a
you,
peaceful
brother.
guy.
We love you. We love you,
but
brother.
he's trying to. But you know what? He's trying to fit in a market that he don't fit in with what he has going on,
Yeah,
and he needs to create his own market for what he's doing. And
Right,
you again, you know that makes a difference, and that's what I'm saying. When this new facility I'm using, very well respected facility, gonna be amazing tournament and all of that. They hold great tournaments all the time, but and it has the room to sit down and do all those things. But I still just it don't justify me trying to charge what they want me to charge, uh, and all of that. But at that I can't. Typically, my wife runs the entry at the door. She does the wristbands and all of that. I have to use their people. I can't use my people for that. So that's another cost. Have to have two security officers. Um, I think they said two security officers for every court or whatever. So I mean, you start incurring those costs.
right,
That changes what you have to charge and things like that. So I will say that if people are using respectable facilities that are giving you, certain things, sometimes you're I don't want to call it anybody that's running tournaments a victim of circumstances or a victim at all because they're not a victim. You're making money, but you are kind of at the liberty of what the facility is
right.
doing. And
So
so I
my
will say, in defense of people, that are running tournaments, some are still money grabbing, but
right,
not everybody that's doing it is money grab. And the only other alternative would be charge the teams, more. But then they're just going to go to a tournament that they're going to go to another tournament that charges less because they don't care what their
right,
parents really have to pay. They're going to try to use, they're worried about their budget, not the parents.
right. So I brought up the cost because we went up to Northern Virginia and it was at a high school, but we had to bring our own chairs. I'm like, it's paying out $40. I
That's
gotta bring my
wild.
own chair.
That's wild.
$40. I gotta. And then the second part to it, I understand with the overhead, right? As a business owner myself, so I understand with the costs and things of that nature. I just think the service should fit the price,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. 100%.
That's right. That's my biggest thing. And again, if we playing. quality tournaments where the games are on time. We're not 20, 30 minutes behind. We don't know who we playing, the brackets, all of those things. And I got to sit and watch one game, maybe two. That it got me stuck on that one.
No,
But I understand. I want to knock nobody hustle.
I hear
You
you.
got
I can't argue for some of them because listen. There's ones I go to and I'm like, this is exactly why they treat us like this. You know what I'm saying? But I really what my website says, what Tony can vouch for this. We really try to sell an experience. We're not just trying to get you in the door and do our. We've added great media things like that. So programs can do that to make their tournaments better. They can provide a better experience. But even some of the top ones don't. Big shots don't. I'll be honest with you. I'm super tight with a lot of the Prep Girl Hoop stuff, with some of the Prep Girl Hoop staff, but their stuff is bland. I mean, that you don't get anything extra for any of these bigger names places. Puma's experience was horrible when my daughter played on the Puma circuit. It was horrible. Probably one of the worst nationals I've ever seen in my life. And they charge so much money, and it's like, you're right. The experience should match.
How about this, Tony? We gonna drill our girls, man. We're telling that's the new goal. Let's get on the circuit.
Well, the good news, Coach Jackson, is because don't get me wrong, I would, matter of fact, if things don't work out right, my wife and I are thinking we would sell our house and we're moving to Hampton and, keep drilling with Courtney and then try to get her on with a Boo Williams team, the 2032 team. But if things don't go right,
And that 2032 team is phenomenal. I can tell you that Boo Williams 2032 team,
yeah,
they are, mark my words, on this day, what are we at? What day is it? June 16th, 2026. That team right there is going to be one of the best teams. If they stay together, that Boo Williams team is going to be one of the best teams in the country in 2 years.
Wow.
Rocking everybody. By the time they get to the EYBL circuit, and they could probably play up. They won the 8th grade division this past weekend and beat MKW.
Oh my goodness.
By double figures. So I can tell you right, that 2032 team is going to be phenomenal. But go ahead with your story, Tony. I'm just telling you that if Courtney's looking for a team, that team right there is no joke.
Okay. Now, did they beat MKW Elite or did they beat
They beat MKW's 8th grade team. I don't know if they're elite or local or whatever they are, but they beat their MK with the I can't even think of the girl's last name, but I've seen her play and she's pretty good. It's Moody is her last name.
Okay.
Moody, there's a girl named Moody on that team that's pretty good. They beat that team. And we beat them. We played up in the 8th grade division a couple tournaments ago and beat them I think it might have been a championship by 20 or so as well. So, but that for the 6th grade team to play up 2 divisions and beat them, it's pretty phenomenal.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, when you look at, there was a chart I saw and it was like 35% all come from EYBL, and then there's like another 15 to 20% come from 3SSB. And then, where my only hope is there's like a 15-20% come from independent teams that actually get recruited to go. And now when it's getting recruited, it's not getting recruited to Division I, it's getting recruited to JUCO, or, you're getting recruited to.
There's so much time, no, Tony?
Uh-huh.
There's so much time. I mean, you can't even gauge that. It's like, Coach was talking about earlier, you can't even gauge that in 6th grade,
Right.
So much is going to change. People are going to peak in 7th grade. People that are top players now won't even be mentioned 3-4 years from now. So
right. And so that's one of the things that I've seen firsthand. The team that we ended up going to the state championship in 2011, man, those same group of girls in 7th grade, they got beat 55-5.
mm-hmm.
And they was all crying, didn't want to play basketball anymore. It was a middle school game. They lost to Charles City, right? They just kept working, though. When I say they kept working, it was like I couldn't get a day off. But at that time, I didn't have any kids. So, hey, anytime y'all want to go in the gym, I'm there. And so that's why I say it's kind of hard to gauge it, because if we had gauged those girls then, including my sister, if we had gauged them right then and there, and gave them a ranking, we all would have been wrong
Yeah.
by the time they're senior year,
Yeah.
right? That's what it comes with that hard work and dedication. So
Amen.
I agree with that, man. It's a tough deal, but you know as well as anybody that's around the game, if you put your kids in the right camps, now with all this technology where you can send footage, because that's what we do for our football players. We're constantly emailing people. We're pulling up
Mm-hmm.
on campuses. We're trying to figure out who's the regional recruiter that's covering that area. So many different outlets where if your daughter wanted to get there and she's willing to put in the work, she can get there. She could be a part of that small 15% that you were talking about.
Amen. Well, I guess what? That's the only thing we Aries family got going for us, and we a bunch of psychopaths. So we a little crazier than everybody else, and everybody kind of know we kind of crazy too. So that's the thing that it kind of work. Control crazy, I guess you could say, control crazy.
Right.
But you got to be a little crazy. There's an NBA player I'm trying to bring on here, and I'm a little more concerned with how he's going to vibe with Coach Fowler because he makes these absolute statements that I know that Coach Fowler ain't going to necessarily agree with. You know what I'm saying? But
that's the one where I just have to sit here, man. I just have to be like, hey, Tony, you got this one.
but I'll say this: the one thing I kind of get where he's a psychopath. You know what I'm saying? And his level of work ethic and everything. So he makes these absolute statements that are not absolutely true. You know what I mean? But he says it with such emphatic that it's like he believes it in all of his art because that's what worked for him. You see what I'm saying? And it did work for him. He played, made a couple million with the Bucks, and then played overseas with Israel and everyone else. So it did work for him. But I do believe in order you do have to be a little crazy to believe and to keep believing that you're gonna be in that 1.5%, and you have to be a little crazy, And I say this, it's really for all three of us, it's $150,000 bet, because how much it's gonna cost our kid. Well, it's a $75,000 bet for Coach Fowler. It's $150,000 bet for me and you because we got two babies. So by the time, because I did the math on this for Nadia and Courtney, it's gonna cost me around 150 G's. When you count training, when you count travel, when you count, everything, it's gonna cost over 8 years around 150 G's. You know what I mean? But if you win and you get that D1 scholarship, then that D1 scholarship is worth for your family $350,000, or maybe more,
Right. Now, Tony, I got to give a little pushback.
Okay, go ahead.
As a coach,
right.
We'll say student athlete. My kids know grades first. So we gonna shoot, right? So the camps that they've been in, like Imani just went down to NC State last week, but all summer so far they've been in academic camps.
Amen.
Like we're gonna shoot forward both ways, right? Because I tell people I'm proud of my high school career, but it don't pay any bills for me.
Amen.
Those 2 college degrees, right?
Mm-hmm.
And work ethic that I learned from the game. It paying my bills. It allowed me to do things for my family, do things for my kids, friends of that nature. So we both, and being around you, I know you're big on that too. I saw you post the grades of your daughter's report cards. So we're going to shoot forward because nowadays colleges are getting real creative, man. They'll bring you on. They're finding the money on the academic side.
They will.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's several kids in this area that everybody thinking that they going to University of Richmond and VCU or even right here at Virginia State, thinking that they're going full ride. It is a full ride. But if you get into that packet, it's not athletic, right? They was good. They're great athletes, but they're actually getting paid for having a 3.9 or 4.0.
That's good. That's good. And that also gives me a little bit of hope because some of this might be controversial to say, but some of the kids who are great players, you kind of see that there's character issues where you might not be making the grades. You know what I'm saying? Where and those character issues, even though that kid is like here over my kid. If the character remains good and the grades continue on, then maybe, that gives me a chance. That gives us a chance,
Right.
So that's what I'm hoping for as well. Now, you mentioned the business. What business can we promote that business or
Oh, absolutely.
yeah
Absolutely. So my company's name, Building Our Youth, is on the mental health side. We provide mentoring services. We provide therapeutic day treatment in the school setting. We also provide one-to-ones for students with behavior issues, or they might have a write-up in their IEP where they actually need an adult with them all day throughout the school day. We do parental coaching, grief counseling, trying to venture off into the skill building side now. Just acquired my another license in that. Trying to get on the adult side because started this company. Imani was born June 27th, 2012. I was on a flight. You remember the 548 that they used to have in Vegas?
yes, yes, yes.
I was coaching for Team Loaded on a flight. Now I'm gonna take you back with this. I wrote a whole business plan on an iPod Touch.
Oh,
I
wow.
tell people that some people are like, what's the iPod Touch? I'm like, man, I had to show you. Like I was on a plane back, man. My daughter was probably like 3 weeks old. And again, shout out to Ty White, man, because I wasn't gonna go to that tournament because of the cost. I was a new parent. And that man, he met me in a Wawa parking lot and said, man, the other coaches say you're not going. I said, yes, sir. He said, now you're going. I said, what you mean? Man, I hope you don't mind me saying this. Wrote me a check, man, for $1,000, man. Covered all my expenses for me to fly over. I had my own hotel room. Had a little spending money when I was there. So yeah, that's how I started building our youth, man. I was just basically thinking that I wanted my child to have a better childhood, to have a better head start in life. So I just started to lay down the groundwork for that.
Amen. Now, what's the age limits, the top and the bottom for who
From 5 to 18.
5 to 18? Okay, all
Yes,
right.
sir.
And I'll put the website in the notes so that people, when they hit the YouTube, they can go and click on that website.
Appreciate that.
And
Yes.
that's awesome, brother. That is awesome. Now, I heard you had some camps going. What's your big plans for this summer?
Yeah, I'm actually, man, I'm proud of, man. I've been working this summer camp as a counselor, man, for like the last 7, 8 years. Now they're actually giving me the admin role, man. I'm actually the admin running the whole camp, scheduling out field trips, scheduling out bus pickups, uh, the learning components of it, and of course, you know how it is with managing adults. So in this program, man, we have basketball, football, soccer. But on the academic side, we got STEM programs, we got robotics, we have a teen cuisine, cooking class, and this is for K through 12
Oh, wow.
for the camp. So I'm really, really, really super excited because I've always been the hands-on part, either working football or basketball, but now to actually be on the admin part because I'm actually in a leadership program at Virginia State, and I needed a certain amount of hours to complete the program. So Sussex, again, the hometown, looked out. Shout out to the superintendent, Dr. Julius Hamlin, got me in the program and then allowed me to run that program down there because I'm not technically an employee of Sussex County.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Coach Fowler, you have any closing thoughts? Because we've already kept Coach Jackson a whole hour. It seemed like it flew by because you chopping it up with good people. Time flies.
Hey, man.
The vibe was good.
Man.
The vibe was good. Yeah. But no, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't know anything about you coming into it, man. And Tony just was like, man, I got this guy that you really gonna vibe well with, and Tony delivers again. So no, great stuff, man. I mean, and you really hit me with. I'm a special education teacher that is now transitioning into other things. So it was pretty awesome. We run a mental health matters and an autism tournament. So to see you on the mental health side, and your business being there, I thought that was phenomenal as well, man. This has been awesome, and the stuff that you're providing, doing the camp thing. Going into leadership, what are you looking to be an AD or you
I want to go the AD route, man. I've been PT teacher. Everybody keep asking me, man, you have your own company, you got employees, why you still teach? Right? I believe in not sometimes, all the time, God will give you an assignment and a purpose.
mm-hmm.
I use that to say, like I said, I just finished year 18 and teach CTE. And I tell the younger teachers, right, when you're on assignment, God don't care what your thoughts. He's going to laugh at your plan. And I knew it was my assignment because I had older teachers telling me, as well as when I took the praxis, man, no lie, I didn't study for it. And I just took it because my school division said, we're not going to renew your contract unless you at least take it. I was like, okay. So I took it first time, passed it, man. So I just took it as a sign from above. And then I was already coaching. So a good friend of mine, man, we've been friends since I was 5 years old. My kid's godfather. I'm his daughter godfather. Same fraternity. We went for elementary school all the way through college. He was teaching in this division before me because my bachelor's degree is actually finance. So I was working in banking. He was like, man, bro, you coaching the kids? I said, I can't be them kids. He said, man, we get paid in the summers. I said, yeah. I said, what about Christmas break? He said, yeah. Me joking around. I said, if y'all get paid on spring break, sign me up. He said, all right, good. Hung up. His boss called me, and he had like a 25% pass rate in math. And she was saying, any man that Kelly Hopkins recommend, you all right with me.
Oh wow.
And so that's how I started my educational journey, man. Yep.
There you go. Well, listen, man, I'm a strong believer. You can avoid assignments. You can run from jobs, but you can't run from a purpose.
Absolutely,
And,
man.
and so, listen, I'm all on board. Tony, I'm Team Tony, and now I'm Team Jackson, Coach Jackson now as well, because he nailed it again, man. This has been a phenomenal conversation, and I do appreciate you coming on, and I'm glad we made this connection.
All right, cool, man. And congrats, man. And thank you for your service to special education, man, because working in a public school setting or any school setting, that it takes a special kind of person, right? No, I know now you have to have a loving heart. You have to have patience. You have to actually care about the kids, right? To actually be able to work through some of their disadvantages, right? As we say in our school division, as far as meeting them where they at, right? Not trying to get them to see the world the way you see it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So for to have that type of patience, man, because with me being an elective teacher, sometimes I got to remind myself when those type of kids come into class, right, that I can't expect the way I see the world that they see it. Every now and then, and a lot of teachers don't like to do it, man, but I'm a firm believer. Sitting down by my desk, man, let's just talk, man. Let me see where your mind at. Let me see how you look at life. So maybe I can try to step into your world and maybe we can combine them together.
Okay. Coach Jackson, before you leave, we have a lot of educators that watch. I want you to give 3 pieces of advice as we close out to a young Coach Jackson who is just entering into the public school system. What advice are you giving that young teacher?
Some of the things I just said, patience, right? Build a relationship.
Relationships.
Right? Most importantly, don't wait for the kid to act out before you contact the parent. Right? You have to send that good job in the first week. You have to say, hey, I appreciate your kid. So therefore, we need to build a relationship not just with the kid, but with the parent. So now when you contact that parent when that kid misbehaves, because they're kids. Now the parent don't feel attacked. Now they feel like they know Coach Jackson. Oh, I know Coach Jackson. He's a good guy, man. He told me my boy came to class on time. Something small as that. He was on time all week. Right? So you build that bond. And most importantly, man, a younger Coach Jackson, I would tell him, document everything, man. Like document. It seemed tedious, but write down everything, certain interactions, not just with the kids, not just with the parents, but with your colleagues, right? Just document, man, because that documentation can really save you in certain situations.
Amen, brother. Well, you've been a blessing to have on, man. I appreciate you coming on. You're always a blessing to your family is always a blessing, man. And
Appreciate you.
our kids always. And I'll be honest with you, I believe one of the reasons why the Knicks won is they had them 3 kids from Villanova, you know what I'm saying, from Villanova, amen, where they worked together, you know what I'm saying, and they got used to working together. So I try to make sure I want my kids around good kids, and I want my kids around good families, and I'm going to try my best to, whenever possible, keep my kids playing with good kids so that they can have their own Villanova experience. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens
Absolutely.
iron. Amen.
Absolutely.
Because no one can take it. No one can playing together for 5-6 years. That kind of builds like a bond where they know where they're at on the court.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They know what the other one's doing. You know what I'm saying? They know what the other one's capable of. So
I agree. And I want to add this before we go. That camaraderie and that chemistry of playing together so much, you become family. So now you hold each other accountable, and it's less work on the coach,
Amen.
right? So the veteran teams, like I'll use our football program now. We got 16 seniors.
Right.
As coaches, we're not doing a lot of talking already in the summer workouts, right? We're looking at the seniors, and my theory, and the other coaches laugh, but I firmly believe in you're either gonna be a 12th grader or you're gonna be a senior. If you can't figure out the difference, I can help you, right? You're not a senior, right? You just happen to be a 12th grader, right? And I get you're not ready for leadership and things of that nature.
That's
So I
phenomenal.
definitely agree, man.
That's
Amen.
phenomenal.
Amen. Amen. Well, I will share y'all. If y'all don't mind, I will share y'all's text with each other.
That's
Amen.
fine.
So that
Okay,
y'all
yeah.
can, chop it up
Absolutely.
anything. And I appreciate you, Coach Jackson. I appreciate you as always,
No
Coach
problem,
Fowler.
man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thanks,
y'all,
Coach.
man. Thank y'all for everything.
Uh-huh.
All right.
All right. Peace.